Here's your weather video for this Sunday. It is November the 17th. I'm meteorologist Bill Murray. Glad to be back with you this morning. It's going to be another beautiful day across Alabama, but some changes are in the offing. Let's get into the details. We'll start off with Tropical Storm Sarah, recording this just after 10 p.m. on Saturday night. It's still barely hanging on as a tropical storm there in the western Caribbean. They're passing now to the northwest of the Bay Islands off of Honduras. It's moving toward Belize, top winds 40 miles an hour. It is expected to move into Belize on your Sunday and move across the Yucatan, but it should weaken into an open trough before it reaches the Gulf of Mexico. Quite a far cry from what we thought a week ago, where we thought we might be dealing with a major hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. So that's great news. And the good news is that even beyond this, it appears that we're not going to deal with anything over the next 2 weeks over the Atlantic. So the tropical season may be, for all intents and purposes, just about done. This is the upper pattern across North America. On this Sunday morning, showing you a big ridge in the east, a trough in the west, anchored by an upper low there over western Mexico, south of Arizona. In the next few days, this system will lift out to the northeast and sort of weaken, taking on a bit of a negative tilt. It's going to bring potential severe weather today to west central Texas. The SPC has a slight risk for places like Abilene, Midland, Wichita Falls, and then into tomorrow. That system will move out into the plains. Now, tomorrow morning, there'll be a severe weather threat. Places like Ardmore, Oklahoma, Lawton, Duncan, Oklahoma, down to Dallas. And there could be a threat in the afternoon, too, but that's kind of conditional. But you can see that system is weakening as it goes and kind of falling apart. But it will be strong enough to bring us some activity. You can see the ridge of high pressure there over Cuba and the Straits of Florida, the Florida Keys, kind of anchoring that what's left of that ridge, but pumping a good bit of moisture up into Alabama and pulling some of that tropical moisture from the remnants of Sarah northward into the northern Gulf Coast, and that could lead to some heavy rain as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, the system sort of begins to consolidate its power here by Tuesday night into Wednesday. It's moving into the Great Lakes. It's going to settle in as one of those big upper-level lows that we dread. Be kind of to the north of us, though, so I think we'll be okay here. We stay in a cool northwesterly flow, and you see the packing of those height lines. It's going to be quite breezy, even down to the surface, starting tomorrow night, Monday night, into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and even into Friday. It'll be Friday evening before the winds begin to diminish over Alabama. As you'll see in a minute, the surface low that'll move out into the plains tomorrow on Monday is going to be somewhere in the 980, 985 millibars. And if you pay attention to tropical weather, you'd say, well, darn, that's about as strong as a hurricane. Yeah, it really is. Of course, the winds won't be as strong. They're still going to be pretty strong over the plains, Midwest, gusting to 60 miles an hour at times. But nothing like that here in Alabama. We're going to be gusty 20, 25 miles an hour, and that'll be interesting sort of to, sort of shake things up. But no damaging winds, anything like that expected. We're moving toward next weekend. This is Friday night. System moving off the East Coast. We're in a northwesterly flow, continuing to keep us cool. Big ridge building over the Rockies into the Plain States. And as we move into the week 2 period, we begin to see that ridge shifting to the east, and that means warmer and dry conditions for Alabama. Now, as we head toward Thanksgiving, if you were hoping for warmer weather, that may be out of the question. A little flat ridge there across the northern Gulf Coast by Wednesday night, right before Thanksgiving. But a system is beginning to get its act together, and it looks like we could deal with some showers and here's. We'll see on the GFS in just a minute by Thursday, and maybe that next upper low might be a little closer to home for us here in Alabama. Now, this is what we're looking at across the country on this Sunday morning. Lots of activity out west. Big storm system associated with that trough, bringing snows to the northern Rockies and developing snows to the Cascades. Some snows could reach almost 1 to 2 feet. Western slopes of the parts of the Cascades. Winter storm warnings in effect. Winter weather advisories also in effect for parts of the northern Rockies. We've got coastal flood advisories, coastal flood warnings there in western Oregon, Washington along the coast, where they're going to have some flooding due to the high tides and currents and onshore winds. And flash flood watches have been issued for parts of northern Texas into Oklahoma for later today and tonight into Monday as that system begins to affect those areas where some heavy rain could develop. We're starting off here in Alabama early on this Sunday morning in the 40s for the most part. No real 30s. We'll see 30s by later in the week, but here this morning we're in the 40s. As we get into the daylight hours today, those temperatures are pretty close to normal. These temperatures are going to be 8 to 10 degrees above normal, ranging from about 68 degrees around Vinemont, Coleman area, to around 75 down around Montgomery. Things will not be as cool tonight, and especially tomorrow night. We'll probably not get out of the 60s. We won't be able to make it into the 50s on Monday night as that system gets into here. So advancing forward to Monday afternoon, we see our low pressure system there centered in the central part of Kansas, about 986 millibars. We begin to see the packing of the isobars as we go through the afternoon into the evening hours, and that looks like we'll begin to see those increasing winds. This is your forecast for Monday. Looking like a sunny and mild day, probably increasing clouds late in the day. You probably will have mostly sunny skies throughout most of the day, though. The winds will be increasing too, though. By evening, we'll see winds gusting occasionally to 20-25 miles an hour. We'll see a few showers as we go through the overnight hours. Moving into southwest Alabama, you see here by midnight, a few showers moving into the southwestern portion of the state. They're advancing and breaking out across southern Alabama during the early morning hours, and could see a shower or two from northwest Alabama and also over southern Alabama by morning. So I'll put that in the forecast. Overnight lows generally in the upper 40s. Tuesday morning lows are going to be in the upper 50s to lower 60s. Going to be hard to get into the 50s with this much more tropical air that will be in place. Matter of fact, we'll see a direct pipeline with some of the moisture left over from Sarah being pulled northward. Little low pressure system, as you see, not very major, developing though to the east of New Orleans, and it'll be tracking along the Gulf Coast during the day on Tuesday. Now that could cut us off from the deeper moisture. I think that means we don't get as much rain over central Alabama. North Alabama probably gets a little more, central Alabama a little less, and the best chances for rain, the heaviest amounts, are going to be over South Alabama, coastal sections. We're talking possibly 4 to 6 inches along the Alabama, Northwest Florida coast, the extreme southern part of Alabama. 3/4 of an inch or more south of Montgomery, probably a half inch to an inch over North Alabama, and central part of the state might get sort of shut out. I would think 1/4 to 1/2 inch, maybe 6/10 of an inch is going to be pretty typical to what we see. Your Tuesday forecast will call for breezy and mild conditions, periods of showers, could be a little thunder mixed in. Nothing major, nothing severe, nothing like that expected. Could be a few rumbles of thunder, though. Afternoon high temperatures continue to be mild. We'll be near 70 degrees, but those winds are going to be out of the southeast, 6 to 15 miles an hour, gusting at times to about 25 miles an hour as we go through the day. You see that system sort of weakening as it moves along the Gulf Coast, drifting to the southeast. That frontal system begins to make some progress here by Wednesday morning. Few showers in the pre-dawn hours across north and central Alabama. But as we move into the morning hours, that system That system is pretty much out of here. We'll see clearing skies. Wednesday forecast, those shower chances ending early. Skies will be clearing. It's going to be breezy throughout the day. Winds gusting 25 miles an hour at times. It'll still be fairly mild. Temperatures on Wednesday right around those normals for this time of year. 64 is what we're calling for the daytime high. Around Birmingham, of course, that means a little cooler to the north, a little warmer to the south. But then we'll see cooler air filtering in on Wednesday night. As we move through Wednesday night, you see the clear conditions, no precipitation over Alabama. And as we move into Thursday morning, this is what things look like. A few snows breaking out over the Midwest, there from southern Michigan through Illinois, back through Indiana, Ohio, back into Iowa. Heavier snows over central New York. They need the rain in the Northeast. The fire danger is actually becoming fairly critical again for the northeastern United States. They've been so dry. Most of those regions, they're averaging some 8 to 9 inches below normal so far, just for the autumn. And so their fire danger is going to actually become critical, especially tomorrow as they see the increasing winds, sort of like we're seeing. So this is Thursday. Thursday expecting mostly sunny skies, much cooler conditions across Alabama. High temperatures are going to be struggling to get out of the 40s over to the northern part of the state, Tennessee Valley. We'll call for 52 here at Birmingham. There's going to be a persistent west wind, 12 to 18 miles an hour, gusting occasionally as high as 28 miles an hour, so you'll feel it during the day on Thursday. Now, as we go toward Friday, not much change. That low pressure system, the upper low, kind of drifting to the south. Could it push a few clouds down our way? Possibly. Don't think that's going to be much of a problem. A few snow flurries, maybe eastern Kentucky, eastern Tennessee. These are fairly cold heights, but I would find that probably not very plausible. Maybe more in the eastern part of Kentucky, southern Ohio, into West Virginia. Maybe the higher elevations of eastern Tennessee. But as we get here to noon on Friday, you can see Alabama is in that northwesterly flow. It should be a mostly sunny and breezy day. It's going to be cool. Have another chilly start. We'll start off the day around 36 on Friday. And you'd have to go back to April to find a low as cold as 36 at Birmingham. We've been as chilly as 38 in October, and that's what we're calling for Thursday morning. But Friday, we could be 36 or maybe even a degree or two colder. One thing in our favor is that those winds are going to stay up Thursday night into Friday, and that'll probably help keep the atmosphere mixed a bit. Won't let those cold temperatures settle out. But as we go through the day, you can expect mostly sunny, continued breezy conditions. Finally, those winds will relax Friday night. Still will be chilly. That might turn out to be the coldest night of the whole period. I'm calling for 36 Saturday morning, picking that up off, I think, of the National Blend of Models. So we could be a degree or two colder. Could we flirt with the freeze? Certainly with some frost on these mornings, especially Saturday morning as the winds sort of die down. Now, sort of going through time here, let's make sure we've got your Saturday forecast up there just so you can see it. Calling for sunny and cool conditions, a little bit warmer, 58 the daytime high on Saturday, after 56 on Friday. Let's go through time. We're moving out into the Thanksgiving period. This is our week 2 long-range forecast. Not seeing anything there in the Gulf or the Western Caribbean. Maybe some disturbed weather in the Caribbean, but not expecting anything to develop there. Getting into some busy travel periods. Another storm system moving through the western United States. Looks like snows for the Sierras there, as well as for the intermountain regions of Nevada and Utah. But the rest of the country fairly calm. A lot of kids have all of next week out of school. Snows move into the Rockies on Tuesday. We've got some rain and snow moving through the Great Lakes states there on Tuesday as well. Wednesday, the travel will be really picking up. Big storm system moving through the Great Lakes. Mostly rain, though, for places like Detroit, Michigan, back to Chicago. That could cause some travel problems at those hubs. We'll be watching for that. Possibly some a wintry mix for the upstate portions of New York into Vermont. We'll be kind of keeping an eye on that. A few scattered snows also in the intermountain regions of the west. Here comes that cold front into our area by Wednesday the 27th, the night before Thanksgiving. Looks like we could be dealing with some showers, but it looks like a second wave moves in here for Thanksgiving Day. Maybe it's mainly to the south of Birmingham, but perhaps a third wave coming through for Black Friday. So that means that we could deal with a few rounds of precipitation that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as we get into Thanksgiving. Now we start to focus on the Iron Bowl on Saturday the 30th. It's moving on out of here. The game's in Tuscaloosa that day, of course, and it looks like conditions should be dry and cooler as Alabama takes on Auburn in the game of the year, as it always is in our state, in Tuscaloosa. Moving on out a little further as folks get ready to go home on that Sunday. Got a quick moving impulse moving through the Midwest. Some snows in the northern Rockies, back through the Midwest, perhaps into the mid-Atlantic states. New England, another low-pressure system just off the coast, potentially causing some problems, but nothing really major showing up there anytime soon. This is the national blend of models, taking a peek at what temperatures are going to look like. We got a little bit of a roller coaster ride coming up. 72 today, 74 tomorrow, backing off to 68 on Tuesday. The blend calling for 66 on Wednesday as that system moves out. I can buy that. 54 on Thursday, back down to 53 on Friday. Gradually begin to warm up Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Looks like Thanksgiving week could be pretty mild around here, but looks like by Thursday temperatures will be cooling off. You look at some of the longer range guidance like the deterministic GFS, we're going to be falling back into the 50s for highs, lows in the 30s after Thanksgiving. Well, it'll be nice to be back on Weather Brains tomorrow night. Going to be talking about using drones in field research in severe weather situations. We'll have our friend Steve Piltz, who's the MIC, the meteorologist in charge of the National Weather Service in Tulsa, and an expert in the technology from Oklahoma State University. So don't miss Weather Brains, the weekly netcast that's all about weather, getting ready to go into our 19th year. What a fun project that is. What a fun project this is. Wanted to say hello to a friend that I met on the plane when I was in Tampa on Tuesday, who said hello, and I hope you're watching this morning. And if you are, hello to you. And if you're out there and about, I hope you have a great day today. Everybody, I hope you have a great day. Get out and enjoy the beautiful weather today, and get ready for the cool down coming at the end of the week. Well, that's the weather video for this Sunday, the 11th of November. I'll have notes on the blog. I'll come back with a complete update of the forecast, tweak anything that needs to be tweaked just before noon. And, of course, Jack Rudden and some of the other forecasters, Scott Brown, will have updates on Sarah as we go through the day. We've enjoyed having those guys on the blog along with Jen Naramore. They're doing a great job, and we appreciate them very much. But until I get to see you next Sunday, James will be here 2 days all next week. Scott Martin will be back next Saturday, as he always is. And until I get the opportunity to see you again, as I always tell you, keep an eye to the sky, because you'll always have something fun to look at.